Records were tied, records were set at the 2015 All-Star Game in Columbus, Ohio. Tavares scores 4, not enough to get him the car. I know the hometown fix was in on Twitter. That goes to Ryan Johansson, but in terms of total goals, it was a college football score out here tonight. But it wasn't about the All-Star Game particularly. Talk about the weekend.
No, it was about, once again, the fans being engaged with the players and never feeling like they've had better access to them. For the first time that I've witnessed an NHL All-Star Weekend, that awkwardness is gone from that NHL fantasy draft where the players really took ownership of what they wanted to do and how they wanted to be at least looked upon. The trade of Phil Kessel, right? The fact that they left Ovechkin last. Taves really showing that he's not so serious captain. And really, it was about all of this, not necessarily what we saw Sunday afternoon with so many goals.
Look, it's been challenging for Columbus to become an NHL market. No doubt about it, as an expansion team in 2000 and since, you know, tough time winning games. But I really like what Johansson and Foligno and how they embrace the community and how Columbus as a community embraced the All-Star Game. I thought Columbus took a big step this weekend in becoming a real hockey town.
With one exception, Mac, I didn't like the fact that they booed Rick Nash.
I didn't like that either, but other than that, but that's what real hockey markets do. They boo players.
No. 2 exceptions. The cannon. No, I'm not going to stand the cannon.
I love the cannon.
Thanks. I appreciate that you like it.
Yeah, the one thing I thought, look, I'm not a softie usually, but I thought that it was nice that the players sort of gave a bit of a group hug to Phil Kessel. He's a guy who's under a lot of heat in his hometown with the Toronto Maple Leafs, being blamed along with Dion Phaneuf for the failure of the Leafs and the way that they're plummeting the standings. And he came here, and don't forget, he was picked last in the draft a couple of years ago. Well, they picked him first, and then they traded him, so they included him. Then they put him in the race, and I thought that was the players saying, hey, you know what? That could happen to any one of us in our home market, and it's happening to you, so we're going to support you.
Is there a chance many of the players will be as sympathetic to the Toronto Maple Leafs for the remainder of the season?
Absolutely not.
No chance. You know, you're talking about the way they picked Ovechkin. Of course, they put him in that one spot where they guaranteed he would not get the car. It looked like he seemed to enjoy this as well, even though it didn't go his way. So part of the reason why the players aren't as awkward, perhaps, is because of the kinds of guys that are playing in this league right now, Ovi being one of them.
Ovi and Jonathan Taves. Let's not forget that the perception out there is he's the second best hockey player in the world next to Sidney Crosby. Sidney wasn't here. I'm not suggesting that he's coming out of Sidney's shadow, but there's no doubt about it for me that Jonathan Taves was the true leader this weekend, but Ovi's right there.
There was one point during the second period where we all agreed on the panel that Doug MacLean could keep up playing with one of those number 91s.